Hello, in this lecture I will find the area of the blue triangle, this blue triangle. Actually, as you can see in the drawing, we have a rectangle that contains three right triangles, and it also contains the blue triangle, and we want to find the area of the blue triangle, but we have the areas of the right triangles. The area of this triangle is 15 units, the area of this right triangle is 12 units, and the area of this triangle, of this right triangle, is 27 units. So we can use that thing in order to find the area of the blue triangle. And first of all, let's set the width of this rectangle as A. Okay, the width of this rectangle will be set as A, or variable A. Okay. And the length of this rectangle will be set as B. The length of this rectangle will be set as B. So this will be B. Variable B is represent the length of this rectangle, and variable A represents the width of this rectangle. And as you all have already know, the area of a triangle is its length times its width, or in this particular case, the area of this rectangle will be A times B. This is an important data to know, that the area of this rectangle is A times B. Okay, write it down. The area of the rectangle is A times B. Okay, the area of the rectangle is A times B. Why it is so important? Because the area of this rectangle minus the sum of the areas of the right triangles, that is to say A times B minus 15 plus 27 plus 12, equals to the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so we will find the area of the blue triangle by subtracting from the area of the rectangle the sum of the areas of the three right triangles, that is to say 15 plus 27 plus 12, or AB minus the sum of the areas of those three triangles that are in total 54 will be the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so actually we have to find the value of A times B, that is the area of this rectangle. So first of all, we have the areas of the three right triangles. So we will use that data in order to find the value of A times B. So in general, the area of a triangle, let's call it, okay, I write area of a triangle equals to its base, the base of the triangle, times the height to the base. All divided by 2. Okay, so actually that is the area of a triangle is equals to its base times the height to the base divided by 2. Okay, this is the general formula for the area of a triangle. Okay, the area of a triangle equals to its base times the height to that base divided by 2. So we will use this formula in order to first of all, before that, we will set the base of this triangle, we will set it as y. The variable y will be set as the base of the right triangle, that is area is 15 units, and the height of this right triangle is of course A. So as you can see, you can immediately calculate the area of this right triangle. That is, you can immediately calculate the base of this right triangle, that is, its area is 12 units. The base of this right triangle will be the width of the rectangle, that is B, minus this base, that is Y. Okay, so B minus Y will be the base of the triangle that its area is 12 units. Okay, the base of this triangle equals the width, the length of the rectangle that is B minus the base of this triangle that is Y. So it is B minus Y is the area of this right triangle. Okay, and also let's set the height of this triangle as X. Okay, X equals to the height of this right triangle that its area is 27 units. Okay, X is the height of this triangle that its area is 27 units. So you can see immediately that the height of this triangle that its area is 12 units will be the width of the rectangle that is A minus the height of the triangle that is area is 27 units. So it is A minus X equals to the height of the triangle that is area is 12 units. The height of this triangle equals to A minus X, that is the width of the rectangle A minus the height of this triangle that is X. So A minus X equals to the height of the triangle that is area is 12 units. Okay, so now we will return to the formula that calculates the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is the base of the triangle times the height to the base divided by 2. As I have already told you, we will implement this formula in order to calculate the areas of those three right triangles. And we will start by creating the formula for the area of this right triangle. We have already know that the area equals to 15 units, but we want to create the formula for in which we calculate the area of this triangle that is already known, that is 15 units. So our first equation will be to create the formula of this right triangle. Okay, so the first equation will be the area of this right triangle. So the area of this right triangle will be its base, that is Y, times its height, that is A, all divided by 2. That is the area of this triangle, but the area is given. We know that the area of this triangle is 15 units, so we will write that Y times A divided by 2 equals to A, and A equals to 15 units. Or we can write it again y times a divided by 2 equals to 15. Okay, so that will be the first equation. Now we will move to this right triangle and we will create the formula for the area of this triangle. Actually, we do know that the area equals to 27 units. The area of this triangle equals to 27 units. But we want to create the formula for this area. And the formula for the area of this triangle will be its base. The base of this triangle is B. That is also the length of the rectangle times the height of the triangle, that is x. Okay, all divided by 2. So that is actually the area of this triangle, equals to A, but we know that the area A equals to 27. So we got that B times x divided by 2 is the area of this triangle, and we know that the area is 27 units, and so we can write it again. B times x divided by 2 equals to 27. Okay, so this is the formula for the area of this right triangle. B times x divided by 2 equals to 27. And now we will move to create the formula of the area of this right triangle. That we know that the area equals to 12 units, but we want to create the formula for calculating this area, to calculate this area. So actually the area of the right triangle, that we know that it equals to 12 units, but the formula for the area of this triangle will be its base, that equals to B minus y times its height, that equals to A minus x, all divided by 2. That is the area of this triangle, but we know that the area equals to 12 units, so we can write it immediately. So actually this third equation is the formula for the area of this right triangle, that we know that equals to 12. So it is the base of this right triangle, that is B minus y, times the height of this right triangle, that is A minus x, all divided by 2. That equals to the area of this triangle, that equals to 12. Okay, so we can multiply both sides of the equation by 2, and we will get that B minus y times a minus 6 equals to 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, so we created 3 equations that are the formulas to calculate the area of those 3 right triangles. As I've already told you, we do know the areas themselves, but we actually created the formulas for those areas that are already known. Okay, so the next step that we will do is to take first of all y out of the equation. In the first equation we have y times a divided by 2 equals to 15, so we will take y out of the equation. So okay, this is the first equation, y times a divided by 2 equals to 15. We will take y out of the equation, so we will get, first of all we will multiply by 2 both sides of the equation, so we'll get that y times a equals to 30. Now we will divide both sides of the equation by a. We can divide by a because a is actually the width of the rectangle, so it can never be 0, it must be a positive number, and for that reason we can divide by a both sides of the equation, and then we will get that y equals to 30 over a. Okay, so we took y out of the first equation. Okay, we had the first equation, y times a divided by 2 equals to 15. We multiplied both sides of the equation by 2, so we got that y times a equals to 30 because 15 times 2 is 30. Then we divide both sides of the equation by a, and we got that y equals to 30 over a. And in the next step we will take out x. We will take x out of the second equation. So we have the second equation is actually b times x divided by 2 equals to 27. We take x out of the equation, of the second equation. First of all, we will multiply both sides of the equation by 2. We will get that b times x equals to 54, because 27 multiplied by 2 is 54. And again, we can divide both sides of the equation by b, because b is the length of this rectangle, so it can never be 0, and that's the reason that we can divide both sides of the equation by b, and we will get that x is equal to 54 over b. So we actually took out took x out of the second equation. Now as you can see, x equals to 54 over b and y equals to 30 over a. And now we have the third equation. That is b minus y times a minus x, all divided by 2 equals to 12. Okay, this is the third equation, and actually we'll substitute y by 30 over a. You can see that y equals to 30 over a, so we can substitute between them, and we will substitute x by 54 over b. X equals to 54 over b, so we can substitute x by 54 over b. Okay. We will bring more papers. Okay, as I've already said, we'll substitute y by 30 over a, and we will substitute x by 54 over b in the third equation, so we will do it now. So actually, as I've already said, I substitute y by 30 over a and x by 54 over b. Now we will multiply both sides of the equation by 2. Okay, so I multiplied both sides of the equation by 2. So here we have b times 30 over a times a minus 54 over b equals to 12 times 2 is 24. The next step is to open the brackets in this side of the equation. So b times a is ba or ab, doesn't matter, it is the same. B times minus 54 over b is minus 54. Minus 30 over a times a is minus 30. And minus 30 over a times minus 54 over b equals to 1620. Okay, over AB, and all equals to 24. Okay, I will repeat. B times A is AB. B times 54 over B is B times minus 54 over B is minus 54, and minus 30 over A times A is minus 30, and minus 30 over A times minus 54 over B is 1620 over AB. Okay, and all equals to 24. Now we will subtract 24 from both sides of the equation, so we will get that AB minus 54 minus 30 minus 24 plus 1620 divided by AB equals to 0. Okay, so we subtracted 24 from both sides of the equation. Here 24 minus 24 is 0, and here we subtracted 24 from this side of the equation, so we have here minus 24, and minus 54 minus 30 and minus 24 equals to negative 108, so we write it down. So we'll get that A times B negative 108 and 8 plus 1620 divided by A times B, or over A times B, equals to 0. Okay? Minus 54, minus 30, and minus 24 equals to minus or negative 108, and we copied the rest of the third equation as it is. Here is AB, and this is negative 180, and we have 1620 over AB equals to 0. Okay? So here we can multiply both sides of the equation by AB. We can do it because A and B are the length and the width of a rectangle, so they must be both of them positive numbers, and from that reason they will never be 0, so we can multiply both sides of the equation by A times B. So AB times AB is AB squared minus or negative 108 times AB is negative 108 AB plus 1680 over AB times AB will be 1680, and 0 times AB is 0. Okay? AB times AB square is AB square. Minus 108 times AB is minus 108 AB, and 1608 divided by AB times AB is 1618. The 1680 divided by AB times AB is 1680. All 1620. Again, 1620 divided by B times AB is 1620, all equals to 0. So actually we got here a quadratic equation. Okay? This is a quadratic equation, and the variable in this quadratic equation is A times B. In general, or the general form of a quadratic equation is actually A times x squared plus B times x plus C equals to 0. Okay? So this is the general form of a quadratic equation. A times x squared plus B times x plus C equals to 0. And A, B, C are the coefficients of the quadratic equation. Okay, I will write it down. A, B, and C are the coefficients of the quadratic equation. Okay, this is A, B, and C are the coefficients of this quadratic equation, and the variable of this quadratic equation is x. Okay, x is the variable of the quadratic equation. Okay, x, consider x, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. X is the variable of this general quadratic equation, and we usually want to find out the value of x, and we can say generally that the value of x or the values of x they are actually the root or the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, the value or the values of x are the roots of these quadratic equations. Okay, and we actually have a special formula that will help us to find out the value of x according to the value of its coefficients, according to the value of the quadratic equation's coefficients. And the general formula that will help us to find out the value of x is x equals to minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a So we actually have usually two roots to this quadratic equation, or two solutions for x. X usually has two values. Okay, so the formula that will help us to find the value of x, that is the variable of this quadratic equation, equals to minus b, and b is the coefficients of the quadratic equation, minus b plus minus. Plus minus is actually two, implies that there can be two solutions for x, or it might be that we will have two roots to this quadratic equation. So it is minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Okay, so we will implement what we learned now in order to solve our quadratic equation. Okay, so it actually will be our original quadratic equation is AB square plus or minus or negative 108 AB plus 1620 equals to 0. Okay, this is our quadratic equation, and here we can write this equation. AB square is actually equals to 1 times AB square, and this will help us to find out that actually A equals to 1. So I will write the same equation again. A times AB square plus minus 108 A times B plus 1620 equals to 0. Okay, this is the same equation, but I multiplied it by 1. Okay, 1 here, 1 times AB square is equals to AB square, so it doesn't change anything. Now we will write down the general quadratic equations form. It is A times x squared plus b times x plus c equals to 0. Okay, so the general form of a quadratic equation is a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals to 0. So as you can see here, a equals to 1, b equals to negative 108, and c equals to 1620. So, and x equals to AB, of course. X equals to AB. Okay, so I will write it down. A equals to 1, B equals to negative 108, C equals to 1620, and X equals to A times B. Okay, okay, as you can see here, A equals to 1, B equals to negative 108, C equals to 1620, and X equals to AB, as you can see here. Okay, now we will implement the equation that is for x in order to find the value or the values of AB. We have a special equation for x, and x equals to AB, so we will use the general equation for x in order to find out the value or the values of AB. Okay, so we will implement this equation in our case. So actually I will copy again the equation for x. X equals to minus p plus minus root of p square minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So as I've already, so this is the equation for x. Okay, so we will implement this equation for our case. We know that x equals to AB, so we write it down. X is AB, and AB equals to minus B. We found out that minus B equals, we found out that B equals to negative 108 or minus 108. So minus B will be minus 108. So it will be plus 108. Okay? So it is 108 plus minus square of b square. B equals to negative 108, so it will be negative 108 square minus 4ac. So it is actually minus 4, a is 1, and c is 1620. All divided by 2a is 2a is a equals to 1, so 2a is 2 times 1. So actually we implemented this general equation for x for our case. We know that x equals to AB, and minus b is actually b equals to minus 108. So minus b is minus 108. So it is minus minus is plus. So b minus b is 108 plus minus b square. B square is negative 100 square because b equals to negative 100. So it is negative 100 square minus 4ac is minus 4, a is 1, and c is 1620. So it is 1 times 4 times 1 times 1680, and all divided by 2a, and a is 1, so it is 2 times 1, that is actually 2. Okay, so we will do the calculations. So we get that AB, that is, as I already told you, AB is the area of the rectangle, of this rectangle, because A is the width and B is the length, and the width times the length is the area of a rectangle. Okay, so AB equals to 108 plus minus minus 100 square so minus 108 square is 11,664 minus 4 times 1 times 1620. So it will be 6,480 all divided by 2. Okay, so I will repeat again. Here minus 108 square equals to 11,664 minus 4 times 1 times 1620 equals to 6,180, and divide by 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so we subtract 11,664, we subtract 6,480 from 11,664. So we got that it is 5,184 all divided by 2. Okay, so 11,664 minus 6,480 equals to 5,184, and the root of 5,184 is 72. Okay, the root of 5,184 is 72, so we have here all divided by 2, so it is 108 plus minus 72 divided by 2. So the first answer will be AB equals to 108 plus 72 divided by 2. Okay, the first answer is 108 plus 72 divided by 2. It will be 180 divided by 2 equals to 90. So the first answer for AB, or A times B, equals to 90. Okay. We'll repeat again. 108 plus 72 is 180, and when we divide it by 2 we got 90. So the first answer for AB is 90 units. So the area of this rectangle is 90 units. But we have also the second answer that we also must consider. The second answer for AB equals to 108 minus 72 all divided by 2. Okay. So the second answer for AB is 108, or negative 108. No, 108 minus 72 is 36, and when we divide 36 by 2 we get 19, but it is impossible that the area of this rectangle is 19 units. Why? Because the rectangle contains 3 right triangles that their total area is 54 units, because 27 plus 12 plus 15 equals to 54. So the area of the rectangle cannot be 18 units because the rectangle contains those 3 right triangles that their total areas there are 54 units. So the area of this rectangle must be greater than 54 units. Okay, so the answer, the second answer, that AB equals to 18 units, is not correct in our case. So the area, the only answer that left is that the area of this rectangle is 90 units. So we can say that the area of this rectangle minus the areas of those 3 triangles, of those 3 right triangles, or the area of the rectangle minus the sum of the areas of those 3 right triangles, equals to the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so we can write that the area of the rectangle that is 90 units minus the sum of the areas of these 3 right triangles, that is 27 plus 12 plus 15, equals to the area of the blue triangle. So it is actually 90 minus 27 plus 12 plus 15 is 54. And 90 minus 54 equals to 36. So the area of the blue triangle equals to 36 units. Okay, the area of the right triangle is actually the area of the rectangle minus the sum of the areas of the three right triangles that are the sum of those three right triangles is 27 plus 12 plus 15. In total, the sum of the areas of the three triangles is 54 units. So the area of the rectangle that is 90 degrees minus the sum of the areas of the three triangles that is 54 units equals to 36 units, and this is the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so we can summarize our lecture, and we actually wanted to find the area of the blue triangle, and the areas of the three right triangles are given to us, as you can see. So actually we said that the area of the triangle minus the sum of the areas of the three right triangles equals to the area of the blue triangle. Okay, and the area of the rectangle is its width times its length, that is A times B, and we actually created three equations that are actually the formulas that calculates the areas of those three triangles, three right triangles, and by creating those three equations, we actually created a quadratic equation that the variable of this quadratic equation is AB, that is the area of this rectangle. And by solving this quadratic equation, we got two answers for AB, that is the area of this rectangle. And the second answer, that is 19 units, it is impossible because the sum of the areas of those three right triangles is 54 units, and the rectangle contains those three right triangles. So the area of the rectangle itself cannot be less than 54 units, but it must be more than 54 units. So the answer of 18 units is not possible, so it's not valid, and the only answer that left for AB by solving the quadratic equation that we created is 90 units. So the area of this rectangle that is 90 units minus the sum of the areas of the three right triangles that are 54 units give us 36 units, and 36 units is the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so that's what we wanted to find out, and we found out that the area of the blue triangle equals to 36 units. Okay, thank you very much.